Some things to consider if you're deciding to come to Rythmia with your partner is going to be making sure that you can focus on yourself versus worrying about your significant other through the healing process. Um, and that's going to be really the entire time. Rythmia has an amazing staff that they're well equipped to handle anything that's going on with anybody. So if they have, a rough night or anything like that, you can always call the staff to come in to help you out. And what are some other things?
Yeah, so, on that, being able to like give your partner space. So when you're in the Maloka or you're doing breath work or anything like that, it's probably a good idea to not really sit right next to each other. Spread out, give each other space. At the end of the night, when you come back to your room, don't feel like you have to share. Sometimes you just need to process. You need time. So not only don't feel like you have to share, but if the other person is not open at the moment to talking, you really need to be able to let that go and give them the time they need to process what they went through and let them talk about it on their own time. So it's really important.
And let's see, I would say one of the biggest thing is just knowing like what's yours is yours, what's theirs is theirs, and it doesn't need to go back and forth. So like when we go to the Maloka, we go on opposite side of the rooms. We normally don't see each other and engage directly after. When we go back to the room, we're walking back together, but then, yeah, like Joe said, we go to bed, we process, we journal, and do all of that on our own terms.
Yeah. Next one would be judgment. It's easy to judge others. It's easy to judge yourself. And so trying to let go of judgment of what you went through or what she went through. Maybe she had this amazing experience and responded to the medicine strongly that night, and maybe I didn't. It's easy to get jealous about what she got and what I didn't get, or others in the group. You go through this group, the process of healing in a group, and it's just really important to connect with the group, but not to think that what this person went through is your journey. Like your journey is your journey, and just honor that and try to surrender.
Let's see. We talked about that one. This is a really good one. Consider going alone first. We took some notes, guys.
Yeah.
Consider going alone the first time. So the first time that I went to Rythmia, I did go alone because I knew I was going to have stuff coming up. And honestly, I didn't feel that comfortable being around Joe, going through that process. It was a lot. I had a feeling it was going to be a lot. And I just wanted to be able to go and just focus on myself. And I'm really happy that I did. The second time that we went back, that was Joe's first time. But I felt it was good as far as I kind of knew, every journey's different, but I knew what to expect through the week. And I knew after everything that Rythmia goes over for the week that I need to just let him be, let him have his space, let him do his thing, and let him do his own healing. I don't need to be there to help him heal. That's his journey.
Yeah, definitely. My first time here, we came together, but she had already had the experience, so she knew how to give me that space. I feel like if we would have came here together the first time, it probably would have been a lot more difficult for each of us to really focus on ourselves. And we're going to talk about how we've kind of healed as a couple in our relationship, but you can't do that until you heal yourself. So that first journey here really should be taken as a self journey, whether you're with a friend or a partner. We see people here with their mothers or fathers, and that's beautiful and a great thing, but just make sure that you're giving each other space and time and make it your journey, and look for the outside, the end of the process when you start to really share and open up about it.
Yeah, because it is hard not to, if you see them, having a hard night, or they, emotional, or maybe you had a great night and you saw them in your vision, like I had a few of those through this week, and I just wanted to run up to Joe, give him a hug and tell him I love him, and, pretty much smother him. And just knowing like, that's not a good idea. That's how I'm feeling here. And give it time to be able to do that when we're both, out of that space.
Yeah, the next one we have here is just be careful about holding back. So, if I'm being honest, the first time I came with Danielle, there were classes that we did sit right next to each other. We did some breathwork classes together. Rythmia is a full program. It's not just plant medicine. It's plant medicine, it's integration classes, it's yoga, it's breathwork. And so there were a lot of classes where we would sit next to each other, and maybe I wanted to share, but I didn't because I didn't feel comfortable, or during one of the things that maybe would have pushed me out of my comfort zone that I might have done by myself, I held back because I was with her. So again, even though our journeys have worked out and I was able to push through some of that, there was other healing going on, because some of my holding back was because I was afraid to do those things in front of my wife, and I was able to push past that. And so that was like, there was big growth there. But man, if I would have just held back the whole time, I could have really kind of stunted my own growth. So just being careful of, again, that relationship and coming as a couple. If I had one of my best friends here, I might not dance the dance of liberation, right? Because I'd feel goofy. And so again, it's just, I think there's some of that there. Last one.
So how has it helped our relationship?
Well, I think, man, one of the biggest things for me is that and I didn't know this, but I never loved myself. I mean, I just didn't, I didn't even know what that meant. People would say, oh, I have self-love. And I'd kind of laugh inside like, whatever, I don't even know what you mean. I just don't know what you mean. And so that first trip coming here, I was able to really experience the loss of a lot of parts of my ego. And it just showed me some of the lowest versions of myself that I wanted to let go of. I mean, you do voluntarily kind of have to want to let go of this stuff and change for this to really work. And so seeing those things helped me release a lot of, trauma that I wasn't even aware that was trauma that I was holding on to. And it allowed me to start to see two things: spirituality, which I've never considered myself a spiritual person or religious person. But this first trip here kind of broke that down for me and really showed me that there was a greater plan. And then gave me a glimpse of self-love. And really, we got home and I was still struggling with that. And we continued to do work for this whole last, I don't know how many months, 8-9 months, to try to, for me, like the work I was doing was trying to find that self-love, and then how to learn how to love others unconditionally. And again, that term unconditionally was something I didn't know, like I didn't understand it. I logically, intellectually, I knew the term, but I didn't really know what it would mean to feel that. And so, I kind of got that unconditional love for myself through this experience. And that has allowed me to then give unconditional love and just love in general, which I don't think I really was doing much in my life beforehand. How about for you?
Yeah, I mean, really, I would say the exact same thing. Is I definitely relied on him a lot and how he was feeling, how he was doing. His mood would dictate my mood, or I would allow that, I should say it that way. And I allowed that because I didn't love myself. So, and very critical, had a lot of things going on, as we all do. So I would say after the first time going, the second time coming back and having some things come up with him and realizing, oh, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and just it really popping in on, okay, these are some of the things that are holding me back, that now it's just, I would say our relationship has 180'd. He's always been my best friend. We've always been able to joke around, and all of our friends and people that meet us, they're like, I can't believe you two are married. Like, you talk to each other that way? I've been joking around and stuff like that. But now it's love.
Yeah.
It's being in love, not just love as a friendship. It's being in love, sharing passion with each other. It's just really taken our relationship, I feel, to somewhere that it's never been.
Yeah.
We look forward to really everything together. It's really, I think, a beautiful thing, especially how many people can say that after 20 plus years of being together, that, they love each other more than they ever have. I think we're really grateful for that. And yeah, that definitely would never, I don't believe would have happened if we didn't come to Rythmia and work on ourselves to be the person that we've always meant to be, but we weren't. We split, and now we've come back and things are better than ever.
Yeah. Another thing that really changed for us when we got home from that trip is the way we spoke to each other. You know, we would have conversations, but in the past, a lot of times it felt more like a debate, or like I'm right, you're wrong, or you're right, I'm wrong, and or just telling each other instead of really being open and listening. And you know, some of those lessons just came from being here and sharing stuff with other people. You're When you come here and you do this plant medicine, you end up so open. Everything is just wide open. You are raw as raw can be. And so you start talking differently. You know, you share more deeply. You start talking about feelings, which, you know, I didn't have those beforehand.
Yeah, same.
Well, I had one or two, anger and rage, right?
Yeah.
But not a whole lot else. And so when we got home, I started noticing we would have a coffee and sit and talk, and we were talking about our feelings, not just what happened or what pissed us off today or whatever. It was really being open about how we were feeling about things. And then because we both had this deeper knowledge of each other, we could reflect things that were actually beneficial, instead of me trying to say, oh, well, you should do this, or don't feel like that, or all these things. I was able to say, I wonder where else you maybe feel like that in your life. Or, you know, she'll say something and I'll say, well, how did that make you feel? Knowing that the feeling is really where the growth is. And as they say, feeling is healing, I guess. So, yeah, so that's a good one.
So yeah, I can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
It's better and better every single time.
Yeah. As they say here, you're like peeling back the layers of the onion. So, you know, you come here, you go through an amazing week of healing. And if you're like me, your ego says, all right, I'm good now. I don't need that anymore. I'm healed. And then you get home and you realize, wow, I am healed, and I've went from here to here, but I could go from here to here now if I keep on this journey. And so it is a long-term path, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think? You good?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.